The Millennium Development Goals, MDGs, were developed out of the 8 chapters of the United Nations Millennium Declaration, signed in September 2000. Eradication of poverty and hunger is Millennium Development Goal number 1, making up the world's agreed blueprint for building a better world. With only 4 years left before the expiry of the time set for these achievable and powerful objectives, the moment has come for the government to look back and assess its performance on what it has achieved in the elapsed 11 years. Kibera Slum is regarded as the largest informal settlement in sub-Saharan Africa. It is located in the southwest of Nairobi, roughly 5 kilometers from the city center. It is divided into a number of sections, namely Gatwekera, Kisumundogo, Raila, Kianda, Soweto, Lindi, Laini Saba, Siranga, Makina, Bombolulu, and Moshimoni. Much of its southern border is bounded by the Nairobi River and the Nairobi Dam, an artificial lake that provides drinking water to the residents of the city. Ironically, Kibera is surrounded by high-rise estates such as Langata, Jamhuri, High Rise, Cabernet Gardens, and Ortiende. A clear demarcation can be noted from the slum dwellers and the dwellers of these estates who live in beautiful apartments in a totally different environment altogether. Kibera Slums inhabitants face insurmountable challenges. The area is characterized with minimal infrastructure, non-existent sewers, and toilets in a wretched state of affairs. It is this state of affairs that has made many actors a worried lot. Father Rini, a local Catholic priest working in Kibera, well aware of the situation, feels that this is not the only way things should be.
Especially in the weekends, I go here to Kibera Slum. And seeing people where they are, and I don't say I'm living with them, but I hear what they are living through. And what I'm talking about, that is normal for each and every one here in Kenya, I would say. But if one wants to see what it is like to live in Kibera, one has to go and see for oneself. To go inside Kibera, not to stay on the road, but to go into the little alleys which are there. Kibera is full of little alleys, full of smells, full of dirt, and the people are living, I don't say with their own dirt, with their own smells. People are living with the smells and dirt of other people.
That a people faced with such adversity can find reason to smile is indeed encouraging. What keeps them going? Rose Musa is a social worker who has lived in Kibera since 1991. She echoes the sentiments of Father Rini and many other voices in the slum, and more so saddened by the fact that help for Kibera residents is hijacked by the people who purport to be saviors.
In other way also, I can say that though the government sometimes you see they are trying, but maybe those people, those who are really there to help the people of Kibera, maybe they are the one who are really benefiting with the money that the government is giving to help the poor people in Kibera. This is what I can say. Because if you see like, I can say that maybe there are some problems like maybe roads or maybe toilets or even schools, government schools in Kibera. For really in my work, what I have seen, it is really needed.
It is unacceptable that government money meant for projects to uplift people's lives disappears into individuals' pockets. Such evil actions only help to maintain the status quo, that of the poor continuing to be poor and being at the mercy of such impunity. The sewers can never go away. The cries of the children will forever be a haunting voice in our memories. The young people have always been promised tomorrow's leadership. This is a fallacy that should be challenged. In their lack, many young people in Kibera have found their strength in numbers. But how does Father Rainey find the situation?
When I'm going there on a Sunday morning and it has been raining, then I put on my boots, Wellingtons, rubber boots. Once I'm there, I take out of my bag my shoes, then I look clean. But it is very unhealthy, and for grown-ups, and especially for children, to be there. The unhealthiness, it is very, very dangerous for each and every one.
It is out of these that many residents have opted to go for self-employment. Many people engage in small-scale businesses along the busy narrow streets. Selling of food along the dusty roads poses as a health hazard to those who consume the food. But what more do the people find as a challenge? Rose Muser explains.
The toilets, the areas that you find some areas that there are no toilets, and if you see that maybe there is a certain area that ushirika wa usafi they have built these toilets, but they are not free, so you have to pay. And imagine if you are really a poor person and you have to pay by the time you are going for a loo, and it is not for a loo, it is something that you cannot calculate that every day or per day I will go for a loo how many times. It is easy. It is not possible.
Yes. One of the biggest challenges cutting across 4 indicators, including social, economic, financial, and environmental issues, is the problem of sanitation, the lack of toilets. The toilets hang precariously by the edge of the river, and yet in this terrible condition, for the people who may lack money to buy food, it is even harsh that they have to pay to carry out a natural event. Draining into the river even makes matters more dangerous as there are possibilities of disease. What is the role of the media in the Kibera story? One may ask. Kibera is home to a community radio station, Pamoja FM, which airs the community grievances and empowerment of people. The radio was the first of its kind and offered job creation and training to a number of youth in Kibera. Mr. Philip Muhatia, presenter in the station, feels that the government has not done much to alleviate the suffering of the people in Kibera.
Breakfast show, which I do conduct daily from Monday to Thursday, we have been discussing a very serious issue pertaining what we are facing, especially what is being faced in the slums. As you look at the slums, you find that we don't have very good houses. So the roof, you'll find that in most cases, it comes a time when they leak. Not even looking at the edges, but even if you put up a house, be ready that at one time it would start leaking because the iron sheets will go old. So, but there is a tendency in the slum such that you will find we have some people, we have some youth groups, we have some offices, including even the area administration offices like the chiefs and whatever. We have some other laws that perhaps have become a barrier to the community, such that you are staying in a house. Like right now, we are very much approaching the rainy season. So this is the time when people want to make sure that they repair their roofs and whatever, so that they don't leak. When it rains, they don't have that problem. But you find that you cannot do that unless you pay a price, unless you pay something small to these offices that I've mentioned, which is a problem. So this was our area of discussion today.
But even as the Kibera people struggle to improve their livelihood, Pamoja FM has done all it can to air their grievances. However, the culprit have never been brought to book. This, of course, has discouraged a number of people from airing their grievances. But what other challenges do the residents encounter?
Well, the issue of sanitation, of course, comes number two, whereby you look at the slum, there are no dumping areas whereby somebody can at least dump his refuse. Let's say, here we have a lot of people living together. That is to say, we need to have somewhere, immediate place where they can take the refuse, the remains, be it of whatever. A house has got a lot of things. You will be cooking there, the remains of the vegetables. You will be cooking the remains of ugali and whatever. All sort of remains needs to be dumped at one place.
As one takes a walk across Kibera, there are of course some areas where the government implemented a number of projects. These toilets, for instance, were built courtesy of CDF. It serves over 32 families. According to Musa Omondi, there had been no toilets around for quite some time. 2 kilometers away from this scene, one comes across Nyahawa Savers Community Biocenter. This toilet was built by French government in collaboration with the government of Kenya. It serves over 200 families. This center is equipped with biogas, which is used by the community to boil water for bathing and washing of clothes. Other facilities include toilets, bathrooms, and a conference hall on the first floor where the community go for recreation or meetings. As you go about 3 kilometers further, there is another toilet project. This is a project that was initiated by one of the NGOs in Kibera. But why did they have to come up with this project?
Hii project imeanzishwa kwa sababu ya kusaidia wananchi wa hapa. Kwa sababu wanaenda kwa juara wakitupa kwa maji. Sasa vile tumeanzishwa namna hii, hatutaki mambo ya juara. Tunataka tuingie tu kwa nyumba mzuri, alafu kuoga. Iko bafu. Pahali pa kufulia nguo ni hapa. Na itakuwa kitu mzuri kwa area hii. Hawatakuwa na shida.
Any country that is in the process of realizing Millennium Development Goal must, however, have proper housing and improved infrastructure. With an aim of attaining Millennium Development Goals through improved housing, a Memorandum of Understanding was signed between the government and UN Habitat on 15th of January 2003. The program was then launched by President Mwai Kibaki on 4th October 2004 during the global observance of the World Habitat Day. The houses were built, but after completion, no more houses have been built in Kibera Slums. Mr. Philip Mahatia is one of the beneficiaries of the project.
But we have some people, I want to say this, because I'm directly involved in that, because I'm one of the victims who have been moved to the other side. I have been staying in Kibera for so long. I was moved by the government to a decanting site. I stay in a very beautiful house. I appreciate. But then you will see that where we left, it was supposed to be built by now. But we have a group of people used by some tycoons, because in Kibera, these shaky houses you see, you will find that they belong to some strong politicians. The same politicians have gone underground using we ourselves, the simple people, the minor Kenyans, just mere Kenyans, they have moved to court. To do what? They have obtained an injection that the plan cannot go ahead.
Whereas it is the responsibility of the government to lay out structure on job creation, poverty eradication, and proper housing, the government in Kenya seemed to leave all these responsibilities in the hands of its citizens. Meet Mama Grace Akinyi, a widow and a mother of 7. Mama Grace Akinyi has lived in Kibera for over 30 years. She depends on selling of mandazi for survival. In this tiny room, Mama Grace lives with all her 7 children. she is among those who had great hopes for the new housing project. As for her, the government has not made any step towards eradication of poverty. Life is becoming tough day by day. But what are some of the challenges she faces in Kibera?
Kibera hapa hatuna choo, hatuna maji. Stima tunakodesa kwa watu wengine, wale wamenini wamechukua. Sasa ziko matatizo nyingi. Hata tuoni kama wanafanya hiyo kazi kwa ajili ndani ya hii nyumba ninaishi na watoto wangu wote. Na ni room moja. Sasa kama wangekuwa wanaifanya, saa hii singekuwa naishi kwa hii nyumba. Saa hii ningekuwa niko hata na 2 bedroom. Sasa naona kuna kazi wanatufanyia. Walisema watatujengea manyumba, hizo manyumba tunangoja, hatuoni.
Her great hope is vested on Women Group, which helps in self-empowerment through an initiative called Merry-Go-Round. But how does Merry-Go-Round operate, one may ask?
Merry-Go-Round ni ile pesa mmeweka kiwango. Hata kama ni 20 kila siku. Unatoa 20 hata kama mko watu 30. Unatoa 20 kila siku na inawekwa pamoja, unapatia mtu mmoja. Sasa kama tuseme ni 20 kila siku na situku watu 30. Sasa hiyo mtu mmoja anapata 600. Tena tunaenda round mwezi kiisha. Sasa wengine ya kuongezeka, wengine kama hawajaongezeka, tunaleta tunao watu 30. Sasa kila siku mtu anapata 600 mpaka tumalize hiyo round.
Toilet. This is the main song in Kibera. Even as we met Grace Akinyi's firstborn, she didn't have a different story.
Kama choo, watu wa Kibera hawana. Hiyo ni shida. Watu ukiamka asubuhi, unaweza hata amka asubuhi jikute umewekewa hapo kwa mlango. Na shida zingine ni school fees, watoto wafukuzwe shule, wazazi hawana cha kufanya. Kutua hapo, labda saa zingine unafanya biashara nyingine kidogo na itakuwezesha kusomesha watoto.
Indeed, school fees is another predicament. Most of Grace's children have dropped out of the school due to fee arrears. They now depend on a well-wisher to come to their aid.
Kwa majina naitwa Sylvia Wur. Nilikuwa nikisema St. Christine Community Center.
Yvonne Jacqueline Atieno. Shule nilisoma Star's Hope Community Center. Nilimaliza last year.
While some people attribute poverty to laziness, the state of affairs in Kibera cannot be associated with such. These are people who are marginalized and denied their basic needs, such as infrastructure, housing, and toilets, and for them, the tribulations are far from over.
Try to see how people are living, what people are doing day by day. They are working. They have 24 hours to live, out of which they are working more than 12 hours every day for a very, very meager, what is it? Salary.
Nyaboke is a businesswoman. She is a mother of 4 and depends on her shop for everything, as her husband has no job. One of her children has since dropped out of school due to lack of school fees. As for her, life is also getting tough day by day.
Choo hatuna, tunaenda kwa zile wenye wako nazo ambazo tunalipa, na ukiingia mara moja unalipa shilingi 5. Sasa ni kumaanisha hata ukiwa na mgeni, ukikuwa na wageni kama 5, unapata bado ni shida, sababu kupata hiyo 25 ulipie hao, na kulingana na vile maisha iko inakuwa ngumu. Na hapa kwetu nayo tuko na shida ya maji. Maji inakujanga kwa mfereji, na kwa wiki tunapata maji kwa siku kama 3, siku zingine maji hakuna.
Water is regarded as the source of life. It is the most utilized commodity in any house chores. This is a river that runs across Kibera Slum. It is a river that can provide the residents with clean water. However, it has become an official dumping site for the residents. But even as they do this, Is water affordable in Kibera?
20 liters of a jerrycan. Some areas they sell at 5 shillings, some areas 3 shillings. So you see, in a day, maybe you have a family, you have to wash, you have to do what and what. So you just think, if you calculate how much money you will pay or you will use to fetch that enough water for you, for your family. So that is another challenge.
St. Cecilia is a private school located in the heart of Kibera. It was established due to high demand of schools in the area. With a population of over 1 million, Kibera houses only 2 government schools, namely Olympic Primary School and Ayani Primary School. Both schools can accommodate a maximum of 2,000 pupils. The situation in St. Cecilia is sad. For instance, this room, which serves as the staff room, is only equipped with 4 broken seats and a bench. Along the compound, you find narrow paths with absolutely no playing ground for the pupils. In addition, there is no proper drainage within the school compound. But what are the characteristics of the pupils studying in the school?
Quite a number have the habit of changing the school from one school to the other because they come to this school, they don't pay for some time and the fee areas become bigger. So the best option is that they transfer their children to another school.
Wingi, si ndio? Kwa hivyo kwa mdomo wako una nini? Una mayai. Unakula saa hii. Meno. Unakula? Meno. Kwa hivyo kwa umoja tunasemaje? Kama ni moja tunalitaje? Jino. Kwa wingi? Meno. Kwa hivyo kwa gelialia tunaweka.
The first one is about school fee payment because this one is a private school and they need to pay for the services they get from this school. So we sometimes experience a problem with the fee payment because the parents don't pay in time or they pay little by little an amount that cannot be enough.
Running a school in such an environment is an uphill task. These innocent faces express a clear reality of the situation in the slum. They are the same people who compete with pupils from other schools where all learning resources are available.
We, at the school compound sometimes, you might find pupils not having the basic requirements that would make them learn. For example, a pupil does not have books, a pencil or a pen. You find it very difficult to move the lesson as you plan.
Clothing, children sometimes they come with tattered clothes. That one is they feel insecure when others are putting school uniform, that's shoes, and others they come on with their slippers. So very dangerous because of they can contact diseases. Yeah.
You find that a girl maybe misses school for 2 days. When she comes, you just ask, what was the problem? The child, if you are a male teacher, she'll just tell you, I was just sick. But if you try to reach as a female teacher, you find that the child had lacked, let's say, some things like sanitary pads. I would like maybe the government or even other sectors, because in government you have so many sectors. I think they can try, at least in the issues of sanitary pads.
What is it that is keeping our children out of school and having a proper education? Once they are in a school and they have been enlisted, then they need to find books, they need to find a uniform, they need to find what, I don't know. There is everything, and then the people, they are again at a loss. And the children are being told, go back home. We are not getting out of this deep